Hello everyone and welcome back to another Ask Mevo Anything. I am Joseph Capehart, or Joe Capehart. I'm the lead technical specialist here at Mevo, and I'm excited to have you back. So for today's show, we're going to answer all of your questions. Please be sure to put your questions in the chat. We do have people monitoring those actively and making sure I get those answered to you live today. For today's show, I'm going to be using a single Mevo start in the Mevo 2.0 app. I am controlling it all by myself on this mobile device. For my audio, you're probably used to seeing me use an XLR microphone, but for today, I really wanted to show everybody what you can accomplish if you use something like the Mevo Mic app. So I do have a secondary, one of my older phones in my pocket. It's connected to this very generic lavalier mic that I got from Amazon for like 10 bucks. And it sounds pretty good. So I figured I'd really give you all a good idea of what the Mevo Mic app is capable of. If you're not sure how the Mevo Mic app works or how you can get it, you can go and get it on the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store for completely free. That's right, you can get it on your mobile device for free. You can use up to 3 of them for absolutely no charge whatsoever. And you just need a secondary mobile device, you add it as an audio source, and you are on your way. For comments and everything, I do have people monitoring those things, and they are going to put it on a second mobile device so I can monitor the live questions. Looks like we already have one. Hi from Fareham in the UK. Hello, thank you, hello. Yeah, keep those coming. I really want to make sure today is a very active day in the comment section, because I do have things to talk about, but I would much rather use Ask Mevo Anything to be asked questions. That's the best part about these shows, is interacting with our users, and we really want to make sure that we're doing that. So please don't hesitate, put your question in the chat. For today, we are live to Twitch, YouTube, and on Facebook. You can find us at Mevo Camera on all 3 of those platforms. I'm personally very biased. I enjoy Twitch a lot. 1, because it has really cool emotes. 2, because I think the quality is a lot better. It doesn't get messed with a lot. Facebook brings us down to about a 720. YouTube keeps us at 1080, but it seems like the colors get messed up or mixed with a little bit. It seems like Twitch leaves it alone, and I think that it's really great, and it's very important. You want to know what you're going to get when you send your video. You don't want something that looks, washed out or something crazy. So as I mentioned, I'm going to be controlling all of the graphics. So the lower third that you're seeing here, the countdown that you've seen at the beginning, any of the overlays that you see during today's show will be done on the Mevo 2.0 app. If you were unaware, the Mevo 2.5 update, we are now at 2.6, but I want to kind of jump back a little bit to 2.5. It was released over a month ago now. That enabled free graphics. And it seems like one of the most common and misunderstandings is that you can access these in the Mevo 2.0 app for completely free, and people don't know where to use them because they never had them before. So we've got this overlay here, and it will show you specifically where to get access to the graphics in the Mevo 2.0 app. Once you tap on that graphic there, or the little stanchion, it'll take you and you can create lower thirds, upload slideshows, PDFs. You can do a lot of really cool stuff, have some really neat countdowns and things like that. Take full advantage of those free graphics that we now offer in the Mevo 2.0 app. I just really wanted to make sure we covered that today. And along with that, since I did bring up the 2.5 and 2.6 update, we will talk a little bit about the Mevo 2.6 update. So if you were unaware, the Mevo 2.6 update actually addresses looks like my audio went out a little bit. Looks like I had maybe moved a little bit too much and touched the cable. Like I said, this is an off-brand lavalier mic, so we're really pushing its limits with this $10 microphone. But when I don't touch the cable, it seems to do pretty good. So it just kind of shows you what you can do on a budget if you really want to accomplish. And honestly, it doesn't sound bad. It's as long as, I think this specific lavalier has a short in it, or my old device does, I'm not sure. But for the Mevo 2.6 update, what's really a big one is that secondary one, the Webcam Mode quick switch. Now, what this does is, for those who use Webcam Mode, you may not be aware, but what you needed to do previously is you would have to connect to the Mevo 2.0 app, connect to your Mevo, open up some menus. I think it's like 2 or 3, I think actually at the end of the day it was like 3 or 4 buttons you had to press to get to actually just enable the function. So we really wanted to kind of alleviate some of those needs. We get it. Sometimes you want to grab your Mevo, turn it on and go. So what we did is we enabled it so you can now enable it from your power button, much like you could with like recording or streaming. So for example, I've got this Mevo here, and I'm hoping it's updated. I think I've updated it, but you should be able to just double tap this power button and you'll hear it. I'm gonna hold it a little closer so you can hear it. So that's powered it on. I'm gonna do it again. And that's powering it back off of webcam mode. So when you hear the chime, the more like up, the higher tone one, that's gonna be the one that's powering it on to webcam mode. Here it goes again. Now webcam mode's on. All I need to do, take a USB-C cable, plug it into my computer, whether it's a Mac or a Windows, and you'll be on your way with webcam mode. And whenever you're done with webcam mode, you wanna pack it up, and you may be going to a shoot, just double tap it again, and you're out of webcam mode. This alleviates needing to connect to many different devices, or many different things. You don't have to, there's so many steps that are being removed from the process to simply use webcam mode. So hopefully you all get some use out of that. I know we do. We were very excited when they were discussing adding that feature. So we'd love to hear your feedback. Are you using it? If so, how much time is it saving you? How much of a convenience is it? If you're not using it, why not? What would you want us to do to kind of make this more of a feature that you would want to use? And that goes for any of our features. If you have feedback of why you do use something or why you don't use something, let us know. That's feedback that's very valuable, and our team wants to make things easier and more effective for everyone. So that basically wraps up the 2.6 update. Oh, I'm gonna drop my phone that's got my questions on it. I don't wanna do that. But before we continue, I do wanna mention that we do go live 2 times a week. So on Tuesdays, you're gonna get to Ask Mevo Anything, which is the show you're watching right now. This could be hosted by any of us. This could be myself, Will, or Joseph. And then we also have our Thursday Mevo live show. And these are all at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can find us at youtube.com/Mevo Camera. You can also find us at twitch.com/Mevo Camera and facebook.com, and I believe it's also /Mevo Camera. But we're at Mevo Camera on all of our social platforms, even the ones we don't go live on, to include Instagram, Twitch, all of those, or Instagram and Twitter. You can also find us there as well. So make sure you're, hashtag Mevo Camera, and you're @ing us for any of the content that you're publishing, because we absolutely want to see it. And you could even get featured on one of our live shows. And who knows, we may even bring you on for an interview if you do something really cool. So make sure you're at Mevo Camera if you have anything, or hashtag Mevo Camera. That way we can see the content. So I'm going to jump into a few of these questions here and see what we've got. So Randy Braun says, I just got my Mevo Start, looking forward to putting it through the paces. So glad to hear it, Randy. Hopefully you enjoy it. I know you've been around for quite a while, so hopefully you enjoy your Mevo Start. Jerry says, on the older Mevo HD, I'm assuming this is either the Mevo First Gen or the Mevo Plus, is there any way to reduce the fisheye? Absolutely. So if you have a Mevo First Gen or a Mevo Plus, you can jump into your image adjustment settings, and you can actually go in and change the viewpoint. I don't remember what the setting's specifically called, but there's like wide, narrow, fisheye. There's a few different settings that you can adjust in the Mevo 2.0 app, and in Multicam as well. So if you're trying to alleviate some of that fisheye effect, you can accomplish that by simply going into the image adjustment settings. If you are having trouble finding that settings, you can go to help.mevo.com, open up a ticket. We would be happy to send it, or go to help.mevo.com and just type in fisheye. Odds are it'll recommend the correct article for you and tell you exactly how to change that. It's a great question. I haven't gotten that one for a while. Rickham says, I'm having to use the Mevo Multicam app at the moment due to issues connecting with the Mevo app. Is it possible to set up camera audio sources in Multicam? Absolutely. So there are a few limitations with Multicam and audio right now. Advanced audio is coming to Multicam, just like Mevo 2.0. Some things you do have to configure in the Mevo 2.0 app before you get to Multicam. So if you want to configure, say, the camera in front of me to use Mevo Mic app, then you can do it in the Mevo 2.0 app, close it, jump over to Multicam, and those settings will still be applied. You can't configure it in the Multicam app, but you can do it in Mevo 2.0 and have the same effect. Down the road, all of these things will be implemented. I wish I had a timeline to provide you. I don't, but I can assure you both Will and Joseph are very adamant about getting those added. Will being our multicam guru and Joseph being our audio engineer on the team. So I know they're both very interested in seeing those being added sooner rather than later. Kathy says, will there be ability to use videos on Mevo anytime soon. So Kathy, specifically for multicam, we do have on Mevo.com right now where we are advertising picture-in-picture, video playback, and NDI. So these are some things that are coming to multicam, and I think you are going to really enjoy those. I don't have those available to me yet, so I don't really have a timeline on when you'll see those, but I promise the moment that we have those available, you will know. So if you want to know when these things get released, you can either tune into our shows, like, follow, subscribe to any of our social channels, and that's where you're going to find announcements that are discussing upcoming features. A lot of the times we'll even test them. We also, right now, if you're unaware, you can go to facebook.com and open and search for Mevo Multicam Beta Group. Actually, I don't think it says beta anymore. I think it's just Mevo Multicam Group. And you can join the group and join the betas there, and we release new functions. So right now we actually have an active beta for multicam that actually introduces landscape mode for tablets. So if you're interested in testing new features before they come out, you can do that. Just note, we do not recommend that you use beta products if it's for a production that you care about, because it's a beta, we're testing for bugs. So we do want you to test them, but I would avoid using those in productions that you care about. But join those betas, give us your feedback. That's the way, to directly impact how these apps turn out. Katrina says, can Mevo be used to go live on Facebook and Instagram at the same time? So it can be used to go live, but unfortunately, you can't go live to Instagram. So you can go live to Facebook and YouTube at the same time. You can do what I'm doing right now, go live to Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. But Instagram does not have a public API for third-party access, which means the Mevo app simply can't access their platform. And technically, it's against their terms of service. So any way you're trying to connect from a third-party platform, I think there are some other third-party, I can't remember off the top of my head, but I think it's like Yellow Duck or something. So like platforms like that, like I can't speak on what agreements they have with Instagram, but based on the terms of service that Instagram has, you're not supposed to be able to stream to Instagram unless you're specifically using their app. Now, like I said, there are ways around it. We just can't do it because it breaks their terms of service. And when Instagram says, if Instagram ever says, the floodgates are open, everybody can now stream here, then we want to make sure that we are in good standing with them, and that way we can publish the access to Instagram as soon as they make it available, if they ever do. We just don't want to burn that bridge before we ever get there. So that's a great question. Bethany says, just got my Mevo start Friday. It took way too long to get connected and stream. I'm using a Galaxy S21 Ultra, me too. So I'm not sure if that's the problem or not. So yeah, definitely open a ticket, because I have an S21 Ultra right here as well, and I have absolutely no issue connecting. I'm sorry you had that experience, but it looks like Joseph already told you to open a ticket. I highly recommend you do that. Myself, Joseph, or Will, or even Greg would be more than happy to help you troubleshoot. Like I said, I have an S21 Ultra. This is what I use daily with all of my Mevo cameras. Of course, I do have an iPhone for testing. I've got a Mac over there for testing. I've got a Windows over there for testing. I've got a Linux over there for testing. So I have tons of testing equipment, but my personal phone is an S21 Ultra as well, and I actively use this on the daily. All right, so Kathy says, will video, picture-in-picture, only be on multicam, not single cam? All right, Kathy, so I'm unsure specifically about the single cam app for Mevo 2.0. Typically, when we introduce a feature, we want to introduce it to both applications, but I've not been part of the discussions to tell you specifically if it's going to make it to 2.0. Now, I will say this. You can use a single camera in multicam. You don't need a camera. Technically, you don't even need a camera. Well, at one point you didn't. I don't think you may still not need one. I'm not sure. But you can absolutely use multicam with a single camera. So if that feature comes, feel free to use multicam. They have graphics over there that are very flexible. They've got a lot of really cool features that are coming to multicam. So if you find that there's a feature that's in multicam that's not in 2.0, use it. You don't need more than one camera to use it. Jeff says, if you are using the Mevo Start as a webcam, can you use the Mevo mic and also use the 3.5 jack to plug in a mic to the Mevo Start? In other words, are the same options available in webcam? And yeah, absolutely, Jeff. It's a great question. Yeah, so you can 100% use all of the same functionality. Technically, and I'm not sure. There is an article out there where we even have a USB-C splitter. Not conventional, not something we typically point people to, but some people are going to do it anyway, so we provide articles for that. But you can absolutely use all of the traditional audio settings and use webcam mode as well. So specifically for like wireless webcam or something like that, I always run my audio to the back of my Mevo Start, even for NDI. Think of it as NDI. NDI allows all of those things, so does webcam mode. It allows Mevo Mic App, it allows the 3.5, internal audio, all of those things. Of course, the internal audio and the 3.5 can't be used at the same time. However, you can mix and match USB, 3.5, USB, internal, 3.5, and oh, I almost said it. You can't do that. You can't use 3.5 and internal. So it's a great question. I'm glad you asked it. But yeah, keep those questions coming. But yeah, you can absolutely use your traditional audio setup with your webcam mode, whether it's wireless or wired. Awesome. So let's keep going here. So while they get us more questions, and be sure to keep those coming, I want to mention that we do have the Mevo Start 3-pack, since we're talking a lot about multicam and functions coming there. Now, like I said, you don't need 3 cameras to use multicam, and you don't need 3 Mevo Starts to use multicam. Now, you can get your hands on a 3-pack if you're trying to have extra equipment, or if you don't have a Mevo yet, this is a perfect way to get your hands on one. You can now get them at Mevo.com and all of our partners. That includes Amazon, B&H, Best Buy, Adorama. You can get all the multicam packs there. Now, I do want to mention that these are selling out rather quickly. So if you do notice that they're sold out, go check out our other partners. If you're not sure where to look, go to help.mevo.com, and myself or the team would be more than happy to point you in the right direction of another one of our partners who may have them in stock. We do not have access to their stock or inventory, but we can help Google and get you there. We want to make sure you're getting to the final destination sooner rather than later. So if you don't seem to know where to look, we can tell you where all of our partners are and help you find what you're looking for. But of course, we do have them in stock too, so don't be afraid to order them from Mevo.com. And let's see here. If you have all the equipment that you need and you don't need any further equipment, be sure to check out our referral program. If you know someone who does need some Mevo equipment and you just don't, go sign up for the Mevo referral program, mevo.com/referral. And you can earn yourself 5% kickback and save them 5% at the same time. So you're gonna earn a small commission. And I know a lot of people kind of talk about Mevo anyways, because it's not the traditional form factor. So when you're out there and you're recording or streaming or whatever you may be doing, people wanna know what it is. What brand of camera is that? A lot of people are unsure, so help them out. And at the same time, go and create a custom coupon code. And I mention it every single time, and I'm going to continue to do so. You can absolutely create custom coupon codes, which increases the trustworthiness, at least from my standpoint. If I see someone who has an automated generated coupon code or discount code, I feel it's a little sketchy. Well, with our referral program, you can create custom coupons. So basically you can name it after your YouTube channel, Twitch channel, your organization, your baseball league, football league, whatever it may be. You know, you can name it after whatever you would like. And you can hand that out, and that just gives that trust factor that, you know, other referral programs may not have. So you'll see a little bit increased usage of your coupon code or discount code simply for that fact. So definitely go and check that out if you haven't already. It's definitely worth your while. And is that it? Is that all of my overlays? It is. Awesome. So if you are just joining us, I do want to reintroduce myself. I am Joe Capehart. I'm the lead technical specialist here for the Mevo CX team. And you're welcome to Mevo. No, not Mevo Live. Welcome to Ask Mevo Anything. So as always, be sure to put your questions in the chat. I'm going to be here to answer every question that's asked. Some questions I may have to defer, but I'm still going to address them as long as you ask them. So if you're on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, whatever it may be sure to put your questions in the chat so I can address those. It looks like we don't have any questions right now, so I am going to continue to talk about the latest things that are happening. As I did talk about Meeple Multicam, we do have an active beta right now. So you can go to Facebook, go to the Mevo Multicam beta, Mevo Multicam group, and you can get access to an application or version of the application that is not yet out yet. Also, we do also have active forums out there collecting users for betas, whether it's it could be various number of things. It could be getting feedback on packaging, software, products, whatever it may be. We want to know your feedback. So if you're interested in something and participating in stuff like that, be sure to fill out our forums on our Mevo customer group on Facebook, Mevo Multicam group on Facebook, or the Mevo Webcam group on Facebook. As always, if you do have any issues or questions and you need additional assistance or further clarification, you can of course always go to help.mevo.com, open up a support ticket, and our team would be more than happy to address those. I actually just got a notification telling me to follow up on some of my tickets, so I'm gonna make sure that I do that. Be sure to tune in on Thursdays as well. Like if you're looking for a more deep dive of our of our apps, whether it's Mevo 2.0, whether it's Multicam, whether it's the Mevo Mic app, which is what I'm using today, we can demo all of these things on Mevo Live, which is where we share our screens and show everybody exactly how to use these functions. We show you and walk you through each step. So we definitely want to make sure that we are addressing and answering all of those. We want to demo as much as we can because that's the purpose of these shows, is to help provide further clarification and provide guidance so users know how to use the Mevo. And if you don't want to open a support ticket, you don't want to wait for a response from one of us, you can always check out our customer group. We have a lot of veterans in there that have been around since 2015, 2016, when the Mevo first generation was released. They've been around for a very long time, and they have been, they've seen Mevo at all steps of the way. So if you have questions about Mevo, there are veterans in there that do know. Of course, we are floating around as well to kind of help address some questions when we have time to, but you can also get peer-to-peer from other users and ask them, how are you using it? Ask for mic suggestions, ask for lighting suggestions, and then you can probably even find some of these people who do this professionally and see if they just want to do a production for you. So there's tons of really cool stuff out there. There's even people, I seen a post the other day, someone asking if they wanted to create a podcast together. A lot of really cool stuff going on. So if you want to be part of the community and you don't really care too much about opening a ticket, you can go to Mevo Customer Group on Facebook, Mevo Multicam Group on Facebook, as well as the Webcam Group on Facebook. Looks like we have a couple more questions. Brandon says, one of my needs is to connect wirelessly from a board to the stream. What is a reliable solution to that? Now, Brandon, that's a great question. So basically what I'm doing right now is what you're going to want to do. If you want to connect wirelessly, you're going to want to output a 3.5 or whatever it may be. It could be a 1/4 inch from your soundboard or mixer, go into your mobile device that's got an input. So I recommend using iRigs, whether it's a Lightning iRig, a 3.5 TRRS iRig that goes into your mobile device. It needs to be a secondary mobile device. I just want to mention that. So I'm probably going to mess with my audio by doing this, but I'm going to try it. Let's see if I can do it. Great. So I've got an old phone here. Like I said, I just got the S21 Ultra. This is my old Note 8. And basically, oh, I don't have my S Pen. Basically, I'm running the Mevo Mic app on this. So if I pull this up, you'll see right here, I've got the Mevo Mic app open, and it's just plugged in using the 3.5 TRRS. Now, if you do the same thing using a iRig from a board and plug into it using TRRS, and it will deliver it wirelessly. So this phone is transmitting my audio signal. It's an old phone, not using it anymore. It was in the shell or in one of my drawers. But it's transmitting my audio signal right now to the Mevo, and the Mevo is taking the audio and video and syncing automatically. You can do the same exact thing using an audio mixer or a soundboard. So definitely feel free to take advantage of the Mevo Mic app. It's absolutely free, and you get up to 3 of them. So definitely go and take a look at that. Let's see here. Picture This Studio says, hey, good evening from Trinidad. Thanks for coming. Thanks for checking us out. Nice to see you. Nice. I believe I've seen you around before, so I'm glad to see you back. George says, can you use Mevo 2.0 and Multicam at the same time? So no, you can only connect, well, I mean, I guess it depends. So you could technically use them at the same time, but you can't connect the same camera to both of those. You can only, your Mevo can only be connected to one device. So if you're using wireless webcam, if you're using like NDI or something and you try to use Mevo Multicam, can't do that. Wireless webcam and you're trying to use Multicam, you can't do that. If you're trying to use Multicam and then go to Mevo 2.0 with the same camera, you can't do that. So you can technically use both apps at the same time, but you can't use both apps for the same mobile device. Now, what you can do is so if you're using multicam, you have multiple cameras. What you could do, and I've seen other users advertising that they are doing this to get around the 3 camera limit, we are seeing people disconnect their camera, select a shot, disconnect their camera, and then switch apps so they can go and do whatever they need to do in the Mevo 2.0 app, and then go back to multicam and reconnect the camera. You can do that. You can also disconnect a camera you're not using and then re-add another camera. So if you got like 4 or 5 cameras and you're no longer using a shot, you could technically disconnect it and reconnect another camera, and then do that over and over as you see fit. So some users are getting very creative out there with how they can use multicam, but yeah, you can't use them both at the same time. Andy sees, does the Mevo Start have a built-in noise canceling for the microphones? Absolutely. So Andy, the Mevo Start has 3 microphone array, and it has advanced audio processing from Fraunhofer. So what they do is they use that 3 microphone array to speech, music, and wind. So all of those things are going to change how that microphone array takes in audio. We do have audio engineers and engineers in general who have been working with Fraunhofer directly and trying to address specific frequencies to eliminate, and basically saying, for example, speech. Speech is going to capture the audio from here, and any audio that back camera recognizes, or not the back camera, the back microphone recognizes, it's going to eliminate that because it knows that I am in front of it and not behind it. So it's going to take all the noise that it hears in the back and eliminate that. Now, I'm not using internal audio today. I'm using the Mevo mic app, so I can't really demo it. But I do believe that if Joseph's doing Thursday's show, I'm not sure, but he does have some video and audio clips and a full-blown configuration to demo how these change, specifically the wind function, but it works the same. The 3 microphone array uses the proximity of the microphones to identify where noise is coming from and to eliminate noise from locations that it doesn't want to use. That's a great question. Not very many people ask about the internal mics, but they're actually extremely solid. Will a 3-pack multicam on Android tablet work on a 4G connection? Yes. Sorry, it took a second. Absolutely. So you can 100% use a 3-pack with the Mevo Multicam app on a 4G network. I mean, technically most phones are 4G, so I guess it really doesn't matter if it's a tablet or not. There are some restrictions for multicam though. So you do need, I believe it's OpenGL. You also need 3 gigs of RAM. And at least that's for Android. I'm not sure the exact iOS ones off the top of my head, but there is a help article on help.mevo.com. If you type in multicam app requirements, it will pop up and tell you exactly what you need. However, you can absolutely use your mobile device. So for example, I was going to do it today, but I don't have any floor stands. I was going to go to the park and show you all what the park is and do a mobile multicam shot with my phone. Now this is a 5G phone, but it makes no difference, 4G, 5G, 3G, whatever it may be, it's going to work. So what you have to do though is currently connect all of your Mevos to a single Mevo, or all of your Mevo cameras to a single Mevo hotspot. So for example, the camera in front of me, I can turn to Mevo hotspot mode, connect my other 2 cameras to that camera, and then connect my phone to that camera. And basically that camera is going to divvy out, it's going to keep everything connected, and it's going to use your phone's data to stream anyways, because your phone's the encoder. So what those other cameras are connected to, they just need a network, and then they'll automatically use your phone's data because that's what's available. It's a good question. So Mike Moore says, when using a Mevo to stream live softball or baseball games, if something else pops up on the phone notification, there's no way to get back to the live screen, even if it's still live. Anyone else ever had that issue? So I've seen reports of users having this issue. Now what I recommend is if you're using your phone to stream, turn on do not disturb mode. Do not let anything pop up, because what you're doing is you're taxing your phone. So your Mevo is going to have significantly stronger Wi-Fi connections or network connections than your phone will. So when you start taxing your phone and stressing out your phone, you may have issues reconnecting. So what we recommend, if you're using a mobile device to stream, you're going to want to absolutely use do not disturb mode on your device. That's going to keep app notifications from coming up, phone calls from coming up. All of those things need to be eliminated. If you want a reliable stream and you're serious about your stream, turn on do not disturb mode. You do not want interruptions. Keep your stream active and strong. Don't risk it. It's just not worth it. DJ Decade, hopefully I'm saying that right. How come on iPhone, if you close the Mevo app on the iPhone, the stream ends? It's a great question. So this is an iOS limitation, unfortunately. So the Mevo app actually doesn't care. For example, if you do the same exact thing on an Android device, it will not close out. You can stream with your Mevo app minimized and running in the background. You can't on iOS, and that's an iOS limitation. So if you really need to run that in the background, get an iOS or an Android device. Unfortunately, iOS limits this, and there's nothing we can do to get around it because the Mevo app doesn't care. Like I mentioned, it doesn't close itself. It doesn't stop the stream. It's just it's a operating system limitation that we can't work around. It's just like a wall. We can't get around it. But Android absolutely can allow you to do that. So if you really want to run in the background, you can do it with Android. But once again, like I mentioned in the previous question, put on do not disturb mode. If you're using a mobile device, you need access to other things. It's just not a good recipe for success. The name of the game is streaming. And the thing is, like, typically when we're streaming, for example, today, I am running wirelessly. Typically I'm running via Ethernet. I eliminate as many variables as I can. And usually an environment like this is pretty standard and safe. But when you start using cellular signal, cellular plans, data plans, and things like that, and you're out and you're depending on cell towers and you're depending on your mobile device to do what you need it to do, you're introducing a lot of variables right off the bat. The last thing you need is third-party applications, third-party notifications, and other things affecting your stream. So if you want to stream and you are using a mobile device, just put it in do not disturb mode. Just plan to not use that mobile device while you're streaming. Or find local Wi-Fi or get a hotspot, something that you can dedicate to being the network. That way your phone is not trying to provide data and do whatever else you're trying to do on the mobile phone. It's just not a good plan for success. Andy C, can you recommend a gimbal to use with the Mevo Start? Now, there is a gimbal that we use, or we have used in the past. I don't remember the brand of it, but the good news is the Mevo, the Mevo Start and all Mevo products have a threaded adapter on the bottom of the camera. Now, this adapter is going to allow you to mount it to traditional DSLR gimbals. So as long as you can mount a DSLR to it, you can use your Mevo for it. Now I have seen people do like some cool hacks where they've used phone gimbals and they've like somehow attached their Mevo to it. It's pretty cool, pretty creative, but you know, like it's risky. I don't know, I guess I'm just not that creative, but there's people who have done it. But the thing is, you don't have to. All of the Mevo Plus with threaded adapter, the Mevo Start with the threaded adapter, they'll mount to any mount that a DSLR can mount to. They got a quarter 20 on it, like most traditional DSLRs. They have traditional microphone mounts on there and also camera mounts. So any DSLR that has like traditional threading, you're gonna be able to attach your Mevo to it, and that includes gimbals. Could you please expand on the two cams connected to the third, which in turn is connected to the device? I'm not sure I got the principle right. Sure. I don't think I have a graphic for this, although I'll tell you what. No, I don't have a graphic for that. Okay, so basically, let me say this. Let's say for demonstration purposes, because I don't have my third Mevo here, it's over in a drawer. So let's say we're using the camera you're seeing me through. We're using this camera, and we'll say this is a Mevo as well. Obviously it's not, but we'll say it is. So basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna take these two Mevo, and these are gonna be in regular Ethernet or internet mode, Wi-Fi mode, right? So this one is going to be in hotspot mode. So you're gonna put it in Mevo hotspot mode. It's going to advertise a Wi-Fi signal. You're going to take these two Mevos and you're going to connect it to this camera that is on Mevo hotspot mode. So you're gonna go into their settings, find the network called Mevo-15643 or whatever it may be, and and connect both of those to that. Then to that same Mevo that I've connected these to. And then that mobile device needs to have a data plan, because that mobile device is going to be what is encoding and broadcasting. The Mevo that I'm pointing at right now is acting as the hotspot. It's acting as the network. So all three devices, the two Mevo and your controlling device, are going to connect to one single Mevo of your choice. So all three of them for me are going to connect to the camera that you're seeing me through, and then my phone will broadcast out. And it's really cool because the Mevo, as I mentioned previously, has extremely powerful Wi-Fi. So it's typically a lot stronger than your mobile device. So you'll see that your mobile device is probably going to disconnect before a Mevo will. So what's really cool is the distance between your cameras can be a little bit further. I would stick with 100 feet still with clear line of sight, but you'll usually see your phone starts to run into issues before that anyways. But those cameras can be further away because they're connected to this. As long as you are centralized with this camera in front of me, then that's what matters. So these can be even further than you would typically put them, because these Mevo will be able to communicate. All you need to do is make sure that your network, which is this camera in front of me, is close enough to you, which is that 100 feet as well. So you could technically do two cameras 100 feet both directions, and then you 100 feet from your Mevo, clear line of sight, perfect situation, just saying. And you could be 200 feet from this camera because it's 100 feet the opposite direction. You just need to make sure that your hotspot is centralized to you. Hopefully that provides clarification. If not, go to help.mevo.com, open up a support ticket, and I'd be more than happy to discuss this further. DJ Fuzz, hi Joe, I think I asked this before, but I'm seeking more clarity. Sure. If one Mevo Start is connected via Ethernet, is there any added benefit to connecting the second one via Ethernet also, or a hotspot fine? I mean, the benefit is stability, the same reason you would use Ethernet for all of them, stability. At the end of the day, if you're using multicam, your phone's doing the encoding and the broadcasting. So you're not getting faster internet speeds technically. What you would be getting is more stable connection between your mobile device and your Mevo. That is where the key is. Now, for another example, if you're not using multicam, which uses the mobile device to encode, if you're using something like NDI and your computer or something's doing the broadcasting, then yes, you'll see a little bit more stability with NDI. Ethernet isn't, for Mevo 2.0 in a single camera production, you're going to see increased speeds there because the Mevo does broadcasting, the encoding, all of it directly. So you'll see a huge benefit of Ethernet. Now for Mevo Multicam, NDI, and all of those other things, you're not getting faster speed, or well, you are internally, but you're not getting faster internet speeds that way. You're increasing your stability, and that's what's important. Now, if you're very concerned about your internet speeds, your mobile device is the one that's doing the encoding and broadcasting. So if you're seriously concerned about your internet speeds, the phone's what you want to connect to the Ethernet or internet more than anything. And you can find adapters for Android and iPhones or iOS devices for like Android device, you can find them for like 20 or 30 bucks. For iPhones, I think they're closer to $100. I'm not sure. I'm not an iOS user, but your phone's doing the encoding for multicam. So if that's what you're concerned about is internet speeds, that's what you want to connect via Ethernet. If you're concerned about stability or you want to add stability, if you want to be as stable as possible, run all your cameras and your mobile device via Ethernet. If you have good Wi-Fi and you're good to go, you don't need to run any of them via Ethernet. Ethernet is just like it's going to provide you the stability that you want, the peace of mind. One of those things I mentioned, variables. By doing that, you don't have to worry about some random frequency coming in and knocking your Wi-Fi out, or you're causing interference by anything. Ethernet's going to eliminate a lot of those things, which is see it's already using less data. You really don't need it. Doesn't need it as much as like an NDI, full NDI, HEX or something. But I highly recommend doing it anyways. But if you're good to go and your one goal is internet speeds, you want to do it to your phone. That's really key here, to be honest. So, I mean, if you want to talk about it further and you need further clarification, of course, open a ticket. You can ask for myself, Will, or ask for anybody, and we would be more than happy to answer those questions for you. Because like it is complicated a little bit. It does change. It changes. Mevo 2.0 is different than Mevo Multicam. Using Wi-Fi is different than Ethernet. Using your local data speed, your local bandwidth, and everything is different than your bit rate and everything that's going up to the internet. Everything's a little different. Everything's got these little caveats and things. And it's not just like it's not like a Mevoism, right? It's not like one of those things that's just for Mevo. It's just different. Local networks are very important. That's why you want to use Wi-Fi or Ethernet. Of course, internet speeds are important too. That's why you want to use Ethernet. But you know, a lot of people think I use 3 cameras in multicam. Now I need 3 times the upload speed. Not true. You need you need the same amount of upload for 1 camera that you need for 3 cameras on multicam, because you're sending 1 broadcast. You're not sending 3. Now your internal network is going to be a little bit more stressed, but your internet will not. So there's a lot of things to really consider. A lot of things that you can really learn. Networking never stops. Production never stops. A lot of information to learn, but it's a great question. If you want further clarification, I'd be more than happy, and anybody on the team would be more than happy to discuss it further for sure. So it seems like we have got a pretty good time. Wait, another question as I'm putting this down. Okay, let's see here. So we'll wrap this up. Picture this studio, Waterloo, Trinidad, and Tobago. Are there any plans to add video or animation for lower thirds or titles in the app? So as far as specifically for lower thirds, I would assume that we would be able to accomplish that with the picture-in-picture function. I'm not sure, I've not seen it yet, but I'm going to assume with picture-in-picture, I'm going to assume with NDI and things like that, video playback, I'm going to assume that we could probably accomplish something like that, but I'm not sure, we've not seen it. So, but when those features come to Mevo Multicam, that's time for us to all play with it and tell you and show you what you can do. And the thing is, just because we show you, a lot of people get a little bit more creative and they find ways to accomplish things that they really want to do. So I would like to see it. Hopefully we can see it eventually down the road. But as it stands right now, I have no timeline or information on that coming. Oh, we got another question. Why won't my phone rotate? There we go. All right. So David Thomas says, can you use the Mevo Mic app with Multicam app? Yes, absolutely. So you can't configure it in the Multicam app. You will have to configure it in Mevo 2.0 before you go to Multicam. Go to Mevo 2.0, configure it, jump over to Multicam, and the setting will still be applicable. S says, what would be the ideal battery charging management in order to ensure battery life health in the longer run? So, you know, I keep all of my Mevo plugged in 24/7. It's safe. You can absolutely do that. You know, there are so many you can charge these things and keep them charged for a very long time before you see any kind of degradation from the battery. These things will be long outdated for the technology that it is before you see battery issues, typically. Don't quote me on that. For example, I still see Mevo first gens from 2016 that work fine, that have been plugged in for a very long time. Rob says, any plans to be able to send Multicam out to Wirecast via NDI? So there is NDI coming from Multicam. Whether it's input, output, both, I'm not sure. Don't have the clarity on it yet. But there's also other things that could be on the way as far as, you know, maybe Webcam Mode gets introduced. These are all things that I'm unaware of if they're coming, and if they are coming, what dates they're coming. I haven't gotten my hands on builds that have them. But I can, if any of our want it, or you know, we will absolutely let the product manager know, and we will harp him all day long and make sure that they are aware that our users want it and they want it now. So if you want something, don't hesitate to let us know. That way we can share that information and make some things happen. So before we wrap up today, I do want to remind you one last time that we are going to go live also on Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will be live at Mevo Camera on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook, just like today, as normal. So thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for the very many questions that I was given. I appreciate you all tuning in, and hopefully you found the live show useful for today. And until Thursday, I'm not sure if I'm on that show. I'll have to check the schedule. But until then, we will see you all on Thursday. So thank you all. Oh.